The heart of Portland, a window to the community. A world-class destination in a world-class city. There is only one place etched in our past, a gateway to our future. Uniquely Portland, Pioneer Courthouse Square, Portland's living room.
Hello everyone, I'm Brenda Braxton.
And I'm Russ Lewis. Welcome to Portland's living room.
Every day, more than 25,000 people pass through Pioneer Courthouse Square. It's where Portlanders come to lunch, shop, celebrate, protest, and catch the max.
Events on the square every day, hundreds every year, planned and impromptu, are recorded in our newscast and become part of our city's rich history. If these bricks could talk, what would they say? And not just about the last quarter century. This prime piece of Portland property has a rich history dating back more than 150 years. Almost exactly 150 years ago, Portland welcomed its first public school on the square property, 3 teachers and 280 students on opening day in 1858.
So that this was the heart of the city's education center, you might say, and a public school to boot, at a time when building public schools in Oregon was tough business.
The school lasted here 25 years. By that time, the courthouse had gone up next door, the railroad had arrived, and dignitaries needed a place to stay in Stumptown. At the turn of the century, the Portland Hotel was the place to stay and the center of downtown nightlife. A wrought iron archway from the hotel still stands on the south side of the square. The hotel was raised in the early 1950s to make way for a parking lot. And when Meyer and Frank needed more space, it submitted plans for a 12-story parking garage.
Everything kind of hit the fan.
Randy Gregg is the editor of Portland Spaces magazine.
But the idea that the center of the city should be a public square really rose up then.
Meyer and Frank eventually sold the property to the city, and an open competition produced 168 possible designs for the space. Downtown business leaders feared that an open square would attract the wrong kind of people who might scare away their customers. They wanted what became known as the birdcage.
If you enclosed the space, with doors or a roof that then required walls that you could keep people out, that would kill it.
I think Pioneer Square was mishandled from the beginning.
As late as 1980, Portland Mayor Frank Ivancy declared the square dead when business leaders refused to help pay to build it. That's when architect Will Martin decided to paint his winning design on the property, a huge mural that galvanized support. Portlanders began buying bricks engraved with names to raise money. The Friends of Pioneer Square was formed.
When you start thinking about this being the crossroads of downtown, both from a transit standpoint, from a retail standpoint, proximity to the library, this is where it needs to be.
Portlanders agreed. 4 years and about $7 million later, it was time to celebrate. Dedication Day, April 6th, 1984.
The Family Feud is over.
Hosting more than 300 events each year, welcoming all of Portland and beyond to spend some time downtown.
But it's worked. It doesn't look worn out. If anything, it looks refreshed. And I think that's part of the genius of the design. It's designed to last a long time.
Something about the scale, something about the access to the sunlight all help to create an identifiable place that's embracing and welcomes all.
Basically, anybody can come and, they can sell things, or, they can protest things. This is the place to be, for, our civic conversation. And not many cities have that.
Every step you take on this square is like walking on history.
All you have to do is look down. Right now, there are more than 71,000 bricks engraved with the names of people and businesses who've made a donation to cement their place in Portland history. It's not too late to get your own brick. For $100, you can put your name on one and make a couple square inches of the square your own. Given the square's rich history, it's easy to see why this is the place to celebrate, commemorate, and come together. It's a one-stop shop for any event.
No new taxes. I hoped I would never again see the day.
My lady love.
We've done a lot of living in Portland's living room. Remember this? On December 31st, 1999, Pioneer Courthouse Square hosted its biggest crowd ever to ring in the new millennium. 50,000 people packed the square to watch Portland's first ever ball drop.
Happy holidays!
Thousands more gather in the square for the lighting of Portland's Christmas tree each year. News Channel 8 brings it to you live the day after Thanksgiving. Santa even flies in for Christmas carols with the crowd.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Appropriately, the place that brings Portland together welcomed the flame.
The road to the Olympics passed through Pioneer Square in 1996. Local heroes carried the torch into town for a big celebration, the flame firing up the crowd on its way to the Summer Games. The international spotlight was back on the square in the spring of 2001 when the Dalai Lama arrived for a 3-day visit. The spiritual and political icon talked to thousands during a rally on the bricks.
In order to be a happy person, in order to have happy family, happy society, one very crucial and very important thing is good heart. That is very crucial.
Just a few months later, on 9/11, prayer vigils sprung up in Pioneer Square, and grief counselors came down to help those affected by the East Coast terror attacks. Pioneer Courthouse Square has also hosted some thrilling sports celebrations. When OSU's baseball team won its first national championship, Beaver Believers gave the guys a hero's welcome with a rally in the square. And Blazer fans packed Pioneer Square for a rally to welcome Greg Oden to town. The 7-foot first-round draft pick gave the rain-soaked crowd a few good laughs.
It's usually sunny. We apologize.
Oh, it's all good. They just told me get used to it, suck it up.
The square even had something for soccer fans. The Oregon Sports Authority set up these giant TV screens, and they attracted giant crowds to watch a live feed of World Cup soccer.
This is Today in Portland with Bryant Gumbel and Jane Pauley.
Pioneer Courthouse Square is the place where things happen in downtown Portland. It's the symbol of the city's rebirth and recovery from the economic ashes of the 60s.
NBC brought the Today Show to Portland's living room back in 1989. Jane Pauley, Bryant Gumbel, and Willard Scott broadcast from Pioneer Courthouse Square. Consider it a sign of things to come for the venerable morning news program, which would eventually have its own interactive studio back home in New York in Rockefeller Plaza.
So join us as we celebrate milestones this year at Pioneer Courthouse Square and each weekday at sunrise, noon, and 7.
Come see us. We're moving in March.